Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today is March 29th, 2025, and the top news in crypto is as follows. We will start with South Carolina, where a new bill, if passed, would allow the state to allocate 10% of its capital to buying Bitcoin. Since this bill specifically refers to Bitcoin reserves, this is significant news. Another day, another US state looking to invest in Bitcoin. It's worth noting that South Carolina was essentially abandoned in its lawsuit against Coinbase. This lawsuit claimed that Coinbase had unlicensed securities. Moving on to exchanges, we turn to Mr. Trump, who appears to have pardoned the 3 founders of BitMEX. Reports suggest that President Donald Trump granted clemency to the 3 founders of the BitMEX cryptocurrency exchange, who had previously pleaded guilty to crimes such as money laundering and violating banking fraud laws. The individuals in question are Arthur Hayes, Benjamin Delo, and Samuel Reed. At the time of this report, the White House has not issued an official statement confirming whether Trump took this action. For our last piece of news from the US, we turn to the FDIC and CFTC, which are now making it easier for companies to engage with crypto. According to the FDIC, institutions under the FDIC supervision, including banks, can now participate in crypto-related activities without requiring prior approval. Meanwhile, the CFTC has stated that digital asset producers will no longer be treated differently from any other producers. Under President Joe Biden's administration, institutions had to notify authorities before engaging in crypto-related activities, but this is no longer the case. This is a positive development for American businesses and the crypto market, making it easier for companies to engage with crypto. Overall, we are seeing a trend of the US becoming increasingly crypto-friendly. Moving on to our currencies, today we start with World, formerly known as WorldCoin. In simple terms, Brazilian data services have effectively banned World from scanning the eyes of Brazilian citizens. This decision was made because Brazilian authorities are unsure about the security of the data being collected. Next, we turn to Terraform Labs, the company behind TerraLuna, which has now opened a claims portal on March 31st. To provide some background, Terraform Labs settled with the US Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, in June 2024 for $4.47 billion. Now it has launched this claims portal for people who lost more than $100 in the TerraLuna collapse in 2022. The deadline for submitting the required documents for claims over $100 is April 30th. Claims under $100 will not be accepted. There are 2 types of evidence that claimants can submit: manual and preferred. Manual evidence includes transaction logs, account statements, and screenshots. Preferred evidence refers to read-only API keys. It is considered preferred for being the most accurate and reliable data, especially for users of major exchanges. A link to the article with more details, along with the claims registration website, will be available in the episode description. The claims portal opens on March 31st, 2025. Finally, let's wrap up today's episode with gaming in the crypto market. The Sandbox is starting its 5th season. The Sandbox will launch its 5th season of alpha on March 31st, introducing a range of new experiences for users and partnerships with major franchises. The 6-week gaming event will feature 40 new video games from big names like Jurassic World, Terminator, Attack on Titan, and other industry-leading titles. Of course, under the description, I will have the official website where you can go and pre-register to play Alpha Season 5 of Sandbox. Moving on, we will go to Solana and the Star Atlas video game, which has collaborated with SingularityNet. This collaboration will incorporate artificial intelligence into the NPCs of this particular game, making their world much more alive. Our last video game for today is a game on Avalanche, off the grid. We have learned that on March 31st, it will launch its own network, the so-called GANs network, a Layer 1 blockchain created with Avalanche technology. The token of this game, GAN, will also be released on March 31st. Let's say that this particular game is one of the few, perhaps the only one in the crypto market, that broke through the crypto market's boundaries and gained recognition in the mainstream gaming world. It is one of the few crypto games set to be released on multiple platforms, including PlayStation 5, PC, and Xbox. That is why major influencers have spoken about it, as we mentioned in previous episodes of Crypto News. The best part is that its token will be launched on Binance Launch Pool, significantly increasing the probability of being listed on Binance itself. So, this particular video game will officially start operating on March 31st. And let's not forget that GameFi in the crypto market is expected to reach $301 billion by 2030, meaning we will definitely hear more about it in the upcoming market cycles. Now it's time to check in on our favorite crypto market. Bitcoin currently stands at $83,000, with the price unfortunately losing our support support level once again. With this decline, we have also seen liquidations worth $450 million. At this point, let's mention that the current downturn is due to poor inflation figures in the US, specifically the Core Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index, also known as PCE. Core PCE was at 0.3%, but later rose to 0.4%, while Core PCE year-on-year was expected at 2.7%, but came in at 2.8%. Since these figures were not expected by the markets, investor sentiment has turned negative, which is now reflected in the price of Bitcoin. That wraps up the top news for crypto. Today is March 29th, 2025. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.